All right, guys, so I hope you can see a trend in the way that I produce content. I literally hold nothing back. Anything that I can do to provide the service of helping you guys, guiding you guys, and ensuring you limit the amount of mistakes that you make on this journey, that's my mission. That's literally my mission. So I've gone and outdone myself again, and I've literally created a video. I have a document here with 50 of the best working niches in YouTube automation in 2025 right now. I'm literally going to break every single one down. I'm going to show you all the channels, the RPM payouts, whether you should do them or not do them, how you should execute them, and also conveniently I have a nice little list at the end of niches you should avoid at all cost as well. Because again, a lot of you guys are making the mistakes of finding yourself in the wrong niche, and that's detrimental to your success. So I'm not going to do any intro. Hopefully you guys know who I am and you know my credentials by now. I just want to get straight into it, deliver as much value as possible. It's going to be a very compact video with, again, my definitions of why you should do them or why you shouldn't do them and how you should execute them, alongside giving you literally every niche to work with right now. Because the issue, again, is the fact that people are making the wrong mistakes. They're going into the wrong niches. They're being fed the wrong information. So I'm going to basically destroy everything out there and just allow you guys to, if you just follow this one video and stick to these niches within the parameters of these niches, and of course there's other ones that work too, but if you just stick to these, you will with 100% certainty have the best shot of success in YouTube automation in 2025. So guys, without further ado, let's get right into it. Let me make myself small here, all right? So disclaimer, there's no specific order to this list. It's not like it's going from the best to the top and the worst to the bottom. I've just put them all down, but I've also included my personal ranking and giving you guys what I think of each respective niche. Now, if you want access to this list, there'll be a link in the description to access my free school community. Just join. It'll be there right away. If you go to the tools and resources, it's literally gonna be one of the first links there, which is the list of 50 niches, all right? Starting off with football. Now, full disclaimer, when it comes to sports, I think sports is an incredibly lucrative niche, although it is a very, very challenging niche given the fact that there's a lot of copyright issues. There's some sports, specifically even football, that can be literally taken down within or copyrighted within like 2-3 seconds of utilization, which is super, super difficult to get around. Now, there's ways to get around this by, number one, doing stuff that's, for example, in the animation niche, or doing things more explainer, or just anything that's not showing game content. When you're avoiding game content, you have a much higher likelihood of succeeding because you're not going to be worrying about copyright or having anyone coming after your channel. I'm actually going to show you guys a really cool example of how somebody has done this very gracefully, and anyone can come in and do the exact same thing. So here we have this channel called Extra Innings. They're literally only 6 videos in, and one of them you can see here has 117,000 views within 2 weeks. If you watch the video, you'll see that it's literally just ChatGPT images that are animated with a couple small clips in between. And okay, yes, I understand that this is baseball. We can also go over here to this one and see the exact same style editing, but now with football. Right? So this style works. It works incredibly well, and there's zero chance of getting hit with copyright because there's nothing, you're not stealing clips. Everything is original as can be, right? So I think football is an amazing niche if done exactly this way. Now, the same exact rules and regulation and conditions I just said apply to basketball, hockey, baseball, and really any other sport. I think those are the 3 that have the most viewer traffic. So they're the most popular, have the highest demand, and also are the most sustainable long term. We've tried golf, we've tried some other ones that are really quite difficult. So these are ones that definitely have a higher hit rate as well. All right. Now, last point I want to make with sports, I do not recommend doing a general sports channel. I never ever recommend that. General sports has a very small likelihood of succeeding because you haven't honed in on a specific style of client, of avatar who's watching your content. And that basically limits your ability to succeed because YouTube has a really hard time grasping who they should show your content to. That's why you want to hone in on a sub niche, which would be basketball, baseball, hockey, etc. Right? Now, moving on to the next one, we have celebrity. Now, if anyone knows me, I don't like celebrity. I don't like trending content. It's not that I'm against that content in general. I just think I'm here to basically help most beginners start off their journey and make the most amount of money. So for most beginners who watch my content, I think it's a horrible idea. It's becoming extremely, extremely competitive, saturated, and almost like a dog-eat-dog environment to be in. It's not a good place for beginners. But there's other ways to do celebrity, which is more evergreen. So for example, we have Pexto. This is a very, very well executed channel because it's completely evergreen. It has everything to do with famous people, streamers, YouTubers, and just trying to find like where are they today, most hated versus most loved, best and worst groups, most controversial, all this kind of stuff. So you're utilizing celebrities, but doing it in a more evergreen fashion, something that, again, You don't have to post 5 times a day just to compete. You can post a video a week even and still do incredibly well because it's evergreen and you're utilizing public figures, public names. You know, these famous people, you can kind of hack their names and their clout, if you will, into your videos and instantly get an increase in views just because of that. All right. Celebrity, I think it's a great one. Fantastic. If it's done correctly, it is hyper competitive. But if you do this in the way where it's more evergreen, it works perfectly fine. Animals is always a good go-to. Animals is literally a basically 10 out of 10 all the time. Obviously, it is a little bit competitive by now, but there are ways to do animals in which you can actually see this working. So I've seen, for example, a channel that is converted from doing like animal attacks to Bigfoot. And Bigfoot is actually a really good niche in and of itself as well, funny enough. But you have to find out what's working and what's no longer working. So under animals, even though maybe Bigfoot could be like more of a conspiracy style animal channel, but realistically, it's just trying to find an edge that's a little bit different and unique. So if everyone's doing animal attacks, try and find something else. If everyone's doing animal documentaries, try and find your own unique edge. Maybe even permeate it with using animation, right? Anything that's animated typically does extremely well. So always just think about how you can come into something, tackle it, and do it a little bit more unique than somebody else. Now, cars is another one. Cars is a really, really good niche always because there's always news circulating about cars. And you can also do this in a very evergreen fashion, right? So most hated versus most loved cars, or student cars under $5,000, cars for seniors that are the safest or under $20,000. There's always a way to kind of hone in sub niche and try and find that specific avatar and then deliver the videos to them. So the idea here is not just to go into cars, but to find your own specific sub niche that works really, really well, whether it's teens or seniors or, you know, whatever kind of sub niche genre. And then from there, hone in, understand their language, understand their pain points, understand what their desires are, and create videos around it. Now, this kind of applies to most niches in general, but that's a really good philosophy to do if you're going to tackle cars as a niche. Now, the next one is fighting. Fighting is a really interesting one because I think it's a very, very good niche, but the issue is, and why it has such a low rating, is because of the issues with copyright. So again, if you use content that's not fighting, that's not in-game footage, then you have a much higher likelihood of succeeding and not having issues with copyright. If you do focus on fights and stuff that's actually happening in the ring, you might encounter a lot more issues. So documentaries work really, really well. News and updates works really well. How this person spends their millions, those kinds of videos work really, really well because you don't have to focus on the in-game footage. That's the stuff that they get really finicky about when it comes to copyright. So that's the one way I would approach this. It is a really good niche, but it comes a little bit difficult if you have to worry about copyright all the time. WWE is the exact same thing. These are actually really, really good channels that you can go into. Again, you could do documentaries. There's a lot of other ones about like things you didn't know, times people cheated, all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of different really interesting channels as well in documentaries, Tap Out Corner, a lot of really good niches. Ways to approach this niche as well. Before and after, undergone physical changes, all this stuff. Like these videos are getting 12 million views, which is absolutely incredible. So obviously there's a lot of demand in this niche, a lot of attention in this niche, right? So now moving forward to the next niche, which is the why it sucks to be. All right, now I've literally put this here. Let me even bold it. Do not do animals, okay? Everybody who's still telling you to do animals, don't listen to these people. It's never, ever, ever going to work. You have to think about other ways to incorporate this niche into something else. So why it sucks to be biblical characters, why it sucks to be presidential figures, why it sucks to be medieval characters. Try and find some sort of sub niche or maybe even overarching, but there's something different and unique. So look at this one called Jinx, okay? They've actually taken things like mafia boss, pharaoh, caveman, hitman, ninja, all right? Kind of like unique roles or unique times in history and made videos, dictators, right? So this is 100% what is working, and they've done the 2D animation stuff. Now, bear in mind, they've done 8-minute videos, which works really, really well. You don't have to do 8-minute videos. You could do 3 to 4, even 2-minute videos and also do really well. Of course, the payout will be lower, but you don't have to go off and spend $300 to $500 to $700 for a video to be edited, making it 10, 15, 20 minutes. You could just do 2-3-minute videos, which should cost you between $40 to $50 on average to get that edited. So if you're going to do why it sucks to be, just make sure you're avoiding animals and just focus on anything else, because there's so many other ones. You could pick a specific TV show or a cartoon series and do why it sucks to be all those people. And then later you can steal other topics, like from Pexto, for example, um, most hated versus most loved, you know, cartoon characters, whatever it is. There's always ways to incorporate things from other niches and bring them into this one. All right. The next one is men's beauty. Now we have a very interesting niche here that honestly not many people are using, and it works so well. It is actually very, very, very good niche, because there's actually not much competition. There is and there really isn't. But these videos are doing really well. Like these people kind of stopped cold turkey. But if you go to other channels that are still actively posting, and so for this one, they basically niche down, right? So they have a specific demographic that they're obviously targeting here. And this way, they're able to really, really hone in on their target audience, the messaging, the wording, all this kind of stuff. Like this is a really good niche, not only for views, but also for affiliate opportunities, right? So anytime it's like, okay, refresh your eyes, I use this specific serum and cream, boom, insert affiliate product, right? So there's a lot of really cool opportunities you can tap into, which are completely related to the products that are associated. So there's a lot of really good opportunities for this externally as well, which is really, really important when you're looking to a niche. Now, the next one is YouTuber streamer gossip. Now, this is kind of similar to Pexto, but there's a lot of different channels with different approaches. So the rise and fall of XYZ, specific YouTubers that had a lot of controversy, the downfall of XYZ. Uh, Again, very like behind the scenes stuff of specific YouTubers. This stuff works so well. Jake Doherty, Collapse, all this stuff. Like these videos, there's always so much gossip going around these YouTubers. They have substantial followings. All these streamers and influencers have millions and millions of followers. So automatically, there's already a cult-like audience behind it. So you posting content about them, people are going to be very intrigued to want to know more. They want to just learn more about what their favorite streamers' history is like or bad things that they've done. So there's always an opportunity as well to tap into the streamer or YouTuber gossip. Also behind the scenes, right? Some mistakes you didn't notice, graphic design mistakes, GFX mistakes. You know, this is obviously a bit of a Bollywood one, but let's see, like filmy sins. Let's look here. Mistakes in this, mistakes you didn't notice here, 23 mistakes here. Like this is a really, really interesting niche, to be honest, because not many people are doing it, and it kind of taps into like the TV and movie series, and it works really well. Like honestly, like this stuff is really, really popular. People want to know. Again, they just want to have information that other people don't have. That's why this stuff works really well. All right. Now we have woke Hollywood. This is a really interesting niche as well because the whole woke culture thing, it's a little bit edgy. It's a little bit risky as well, but at the same time, it's got a fine line between like too risky and very, very lucrative. I think it's still very worthwhile. And there's a lot of channels that are really still crushing it on this niche. That are ones that are more actively posting, and it works awesome. Like it's such a really interesting niche you can tap into. And yeah, it's because it's controversial. It like pulls people's emotional strings. And yeah, you can see like, 2 weeks ago, feminists, 3 weeks ago, woke students getting destroyed. This stuff works really well. And of course, the clickbait on the thumbnail is really important. There's a whole packaging thing here as well, right? Now, moving on to the next one, which is gambling and poker. So I actually have a student that's doing incredibly well with the poker niche. Of course, there's some risks with copyright here as well. Most of these niches have issues with copyright, but there's ways to approach this where you don't have to worry about it. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this kind of content, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and just stay notified, because the thing is I'm trying to post as much content as I possibly can. And what my idea and what the goal I have with this content I'm posting is not only to just give you away all the sauce, give away everything I know, but also ensure that the information that I'm delivering and the information that you're receiving is information that's actually tangible, is actually realistic, and also is the right information. Because the worst thing you could do is listen to the wrong people online. Go ahead and start your channel, spend thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours invested into these channels to only realize that it never was going to work to begin with. It's shameful how many people have come to my free calls. I have free calls in my community, by the way, if you're interested in getting more support, more guidance, free coaching, literally free coaching. Just join my free community. We go live twice a week. The amount of people that have come to my calls and had an awful realization that, wow, this channel, this niche I've been pursuing wasn't going to work all along, because Victor broke it down and he showed me like this actually has no juice. It's not going to get monetized, or it's eventually going to get demonetized, or it's way too competitive, XYZ. And so the worst thing you can do is go down the path of, investing time, getting super excited about something, and then having someone tell you, hey, this doesn't work to begin with. So that's what I'm here for with these videos. I really hope to deliver as much value and information as possible, the right kind of information, the stuff that actually works and what doesn't work, so that at least you can make more educated and informed decisions when starting your channels and making those investments into these channels, because you're investing not only money, but also time. And you're not going to get either of them back. So you might as well use it at its highest capacity by informing yourself correctly. And that's what these videos are for. Now, the next one is mythology and folklore. Medieval times, there's also like Amish times, all these different niches. So you can find a specific era in the past, Spartans, medieval, Amish, the cavemen and stuff, and then just create a channel which just uncovers how they used to live, how they stored their food, all that kind of stuff. There's so many really interesting eras and channels that you can go into, and it's just super interesting content, how they preserve their food, diseases, life as a XYZ, so many really cool topics, and they're working incredibly well. Like, this stuff is really sought after. People love to be educated, right? So educate them with really interesting information and you'll be rewarded and compensated very well from YouTube. Now, another one is glow ups for men and women. All right. So for example, here's one for the women's side. I kind of showed you on the men's side, but something like this, It Girl Playbook, right? The supermodel mindset, the Paris Hilton mindset, the Zendaya mindset. This stuff works so well. It's all completely faceless, very simple videos to create. It's working so well, right? Like 250,000 subscribers with only 56 videos. That's where you want to be. This is exactly where you want to be, like this content. And you can of course go into like the affiliate side as well and sell them products, sell them ebooks, sell them a mentorship, a community, whatever it is, lots of stuff. Now, mega builds, mega projects. This has always been a really good niche, although it is a little competitive because there's some big players in here that kind of dominate. But I actually know this channel. It used to be called Top Luxury and they changed the name to Mega Builds. But I know this channel when it had literally like 13 videos and like 1,000 subscribers. And now they're at 1.42 million subscribers, are doing 4 million views a month. But the thing is, they've actually done like 369 million views, over a quarter of a billion views, which is absolutely mental. This channel has printed tens of millions of dollars from just talking about mega projects and stuff like that. And there's a lot of room for this, like a lot of room if you really understand the packaging and the clickbait aspects of this channel. So mega builds is also a really good, interesting niche, pays very good. And you can go into longer videos, like 20, 30, 40-minute videos, and they're also going to pay even more, right? Now we have the old money niche. This is a really interesting one as well. No one really talks about this one. It's kind of like very low key, but really good niche, like very good niche. They have the $1 billion rise in family of XYZ family, the $1 billion rise of XYZ family, the rise and falls of this, the Versace family, right? Old money, anything to do with old money. It works really well. The pay is very good because it's about money, it's about wealth. And yeah, very high interest, a lot of interest around this niche. So you can kind of come in and just emulate these channels, talk about, you know, old families. There's also different ways to do it as well. You could do old money styles of clothing. There's a lot of like stuff revolving old money that people are really interested in. It's a very popular topic right now. All right. Next one is cartoons. All right. This is something that's working really well. All right. Cartoons is something that is just always evergreen. There's always so much interest, and there's a lot of parents that just put these specific videos on their iPads and hand it off to their kids, and they just loop for hours and hours and hours. So you can literally get millions of views coming out of these channels with very little effort, because there's just so many kids watching and also even adults watching at the same time, right? So you can come into here and literally just make so much cash by simple kids videos. And they're very easy to make, they're very easy to create, and there's so many topics out there because there's so many different shows, and it doesn't require much effort just because of the general interest. There's such a large amount of interest versus the demand. You can also even go into cartoons as well, or sorry, comics as well. And it just, you can crush it. You can absolutely crush it. I'll show you another one here as well. You can see here, this one has literally 27 videos, not even 27 videos, sorry. They have 8 videos and some shorts, but literally every single video is hitting 400,000 views, 1.1 million views, 400,000 views, 400,000 views, 800,000, 100,000, 1.5 million. And that's literally within 2 months of posting on a brand new channel. So cartoons works really well. Yes, the payout is a little bit lower, about 1.5 to maybe $2 per 1,000 views, but you know, it's not that hard to acquire millions of views. You can see here, even if it's $2, they've done $14,000 in 2 months on a brand new channel. I'd say it's pretty solid ROI on a channel, on any niche, right? Now we go to the next one. We have Star Wars. All right, I literally have a student who just hit $10,000 a month doing the Star Wars niche. It is really, really lucrative. And it's not just Star Wars. You can also do like Lord of the Rings. You can also do Harry Potter. You can do any of these like really big series that have been around for a very long time and have a very cult-like audience and fan base. These work incredibly well. So you can come in here and just basically emulate these topics. And there's such a large gap for content here. You can come in and do so many different things. Again, most hated versus most loved, most tragic characters, saddest episodes, most hated episodes. There's so many different things that you can do in this to just capitalize on it, because there's a large gap and huge demand, cult-like audience. All right. It pays about $46. I give it a solid 9 out of 10. Now, weird sightings, a really interesting one as well. This has been working for the last decade. Just as good as it was before, it's just as good now. It is such a lucrative niche because it taps into the wow factor, the shock factor, the scary factor. And people like to feel something, right? Feel some sort of emotion. The more emotion you can bring out of people, the better you're going to do. So we have like scariest videos on the internet, scariest moments, scariest this and that, all these compilations with voiceover. Of course, they all have voiceover, but it works so well. Like this stuff, it works really well. You can make so much money off these channels, and they're not that hard to do. You can just hire a team to do the whole thing for you. Not that difficult. I give you a solid 8.5. $46 RPM is really not that bad. Now we have Prehistoric World. This is kind of an up and coming emerging niche that some people are finally discovering. It's very good. The guy who's dominating it right now is Extinct Zoo. This guy's printing millions of dollars. I kid you not. Like as of now, his channel is doing 13 million views, which is actually 13% down from last month. And not only that, like he's making really good money. It's a good niche. It pays really well. He also has like a entire plethora of other channels in different languages, right? So he has like Spanish, German, Russian, like 5 or 6 different languages. He basically takes his exact content, AIs it into other languages, and reposts it. So he has a bunch of these channels that are just absolutely printing right now. I can't even imagine how much he's making and how much he's made, but he's dominating the space. But like I mentioned here, if you want to copy him, you can, but definitely don't take his topics directly because he's known to strike other channels. So just be very wary when it comes to actually the topic ideation part. There's a lot of other channels that you can copy, but just be very careful with taking his topics directly because he will likely strike your channel. He's a bit of a cutthroat. Moving on to the next one, we have Navy and military. So there's many channels that are popping up left and right with this, and they work so well. It's actually not that hard to find the content. It's not that hard to create the content. A large part of this is clickbait. Israel strike, you're next. You know, like this is super clickbaity stuff. But they're printing. They're absolutely printing 4 million views on long form content. This is making at least $20,000 a month, which is obviously a very healthy amount to make. So I do give this one a very solid rating, but you will have to definitely post longer form videos, which will cost more, and you have to up the frequency to at least 3 to 4 to 5 per week. So yes, the investment and the requirements are a little bit higher, but the payoff is very good. Next thing, we have animated AI stories. This is a really interesting one. All right. So there's different styles to do this. There's elite stories, which is actually something that's about like targeting the elderly. As you can see, this channel actually got taken down. But there's something like this, which is the exact same style content. It's called Elders Insight. I'll actually replace this one for you guys. But basically, just they're pumping out many videos. Like I think maybe 5 to 6 videos a day, sometimes 2-3 videos a day. It's a very content-driven game, like how much volume and frequency you can post. I don't suggest going into that one. But there's stuff like this, epic folk tales. All right. This is a really interesting one. Here's an example of a channel that only posted 3 videos and already got like 229,000, 30,000, and 11,000. I have another channel here that does the exact same thing. They're more active with their posting, but they're doing amazing. Like they're actually doing, I think, around $10,000 a month. Literally just with this random content. 16-year-old girl was impregnated by a boy at school. What happened next will surprise you. All ChatGPT, Claude driven topics, super clickbaity videos and thumbnails. And it works really well. Like they've slowed down with posting for no reason. I think last month they did $10,000. I think now they're down to like $7,000 or something. But it's because they're longer videos, 40 to 50 to 60-minute videos. So there's so many ads in between. They get paid quite a lot on these videos. So this is actually a very good niche. If you're willing to spend the time to create these videos, I give it a solid 9 out of 10. Solid 9 out of 10. Great RPM. This can go up to $10 if you create longer videos, or for shorter videos, 4 to 6, which is really not bad at all. Now we have aliens. All right. Unexplained sightings, UFOs, all that kind of stuff. This is a really good niche. All right. I really rate this one. Caught on camera, irrefutable alien sightings, encounters, shocking aliens beyond Earth. These people love this. There's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there and they love this content. So you can do really well with this stuff. I highly recommend it in all regards. 8.5 out of 10. Lots of content out there, lots of ideas. You can really find your own unique edge with this as well. So I recommend it all the way. Gadget reviews. Now this one I recommend, but I really also don't recommend this. I think it takes a very, very long time to grow this. You're looking at 6 to 8 months of not much progress and consistent posting. It's not that fun. But when it becomes fun is when you actually tap into the affiliate opportunities. I have a student that's making $10,000 a month just in affiliates, like just affiliates. It's excluding his ad revenue. So yes, it is a very lucrative niche because of the affiliate opportunities, but it's quite difficult because of the fact that it's very, very competitive and it takes a very long time. So you have to invest quite a lot of money and quite a lot of time before you actually see the fruitfulness of it. But nonetheless, I give it still an 8.5 out of 10 because of how lucrative it is once it actually starts working. Now we have Netflix shows, actually picking a specific Netflix show that's really popular and then making all the content around it. All right. So there's like Yellowstone, which is a really, really, really popular one. Jonathan Rumi, like there's a lot of interesting, very like sought after cult like audience based Netflix shows, which you can go ahead and create basically dedicated Netflix TV shows around those shows. And there's so many topics, things you didn't know, hated characters, love characters, things you missed, predictions, a lot of that stuff, right? The pay is actually not that bad. It's about $4 to $6. I give it a solid 8 out of 10 rating. All right. Now, guys, by the way, I want to show you guys something at the end. I promise I'm going to remember to bring it up at the end. There's a specific strategy, and I've kind of already hinted at it a little bit, but there's a specific strategy that I've been teaching my students that is working so well. And you need to know what the strategy is if you want to ensure that you do YouTube in a way where you would never ever get hit with copyright. We've basically found a way where you will never have to worry about copyright. You're basically essentially building a moat around your channel. A moat meaning it's kind of a protective barrier. If you remember like the olden times of the castles, they had the water moat, or the people who were trying to infiltrate couldn't get in because they had to cross the moat. So you want to protect yourself. You want to protect your channel to ensure nothing ever happens to it. And the way to do that is by putting yourself in, number one, a really good niche that has longevity. It's proven to work. And there's obviously a lot of demand. But number two, the way you execute that content, you're ensuring that you never actually get hit with copyright. So I'm going to teach you guys the best way to ensure you never, ever, ever will get hit with copyright. And I'm already kind of teased it and hinted it a little bit throughout the video if you're paying attention. I'll mention it at the end of the video, so don't leave, of course, number one. And number two, also, if you've watched up until this point, you guys are absolute MVPs. You are the ones who are going to succeed because you've spent this much time educating yourself, familiarizing yourself with what actually is working and trying to consume the right kind of content. And that's exactly what I've tried to do as well, to give you guys the right kind of content. But yeah, I also just want to thank you guys for spending this much time with me. I mean, your time is very precious. Your time is worth a lot. And giving it to me this much, I do truly appreciate it. And I can only hope that I've delivered in exchange and in return the equivalent around amount of value for you guys, because truly the only thing that I want and what makes me happy is just knowing that I was able to put forth this information, spend the time to acquire this knowledge, give it to you guys, and then see how it transforms people's lives. Like we literally had two students this week alone hit $10,000 a month. Absolutely mental. $100,000 a year. Last two students. I'll actually show you guys right now. So in my community here, you can see we have our accomplishments tab. And if you go over here, we see first record month. And so if you click on it, we see this basically we have this student who has two channels. We have one that's doing 4,900 plus another one that's 1,400. And then that totals up to about $6,401. So if we look at 6,401 pound to USD, that's going to give you about $8,500. So I didn't mean, sorry, 10,000 a month, but $100,000 a year in revenue. All right. That is absolutely mental. And then right underneath, literally one day apart, another student who hit $10,000 a month on their channel. And this one was within 7 months. And then the other one was within 9 months. All right. So we can see here, this stuff actually works. This is completely possible if you position yourself in an ironclad niche, right? One that has a moat around it, one that's protective. You can literally continue to make $10,000 a month, so on and so forth, 20,000, 30,000, without worrying a single day that someone's going to come and take your channel. Something can happen to it, could get taken down. No, it's not going to happen because we don't put ourselves in niches that have that potentiality. I don't allow any risk. I limit and mitigate all the risk with my niches and my students because I want this stuff to last. I don't like the philosophies and the way that other people approach YouTube automation, the way they teach it, because they'll just put you into something that sounds amazing. Go into celebrity, go into this. Yeah, the potential is amazing. It could make way more than 10,000 a month, maybe $30,000, $50,000 a month. But just as easy as it gets there, just as likely it is to go there, It's also extremely likely for that channel to completely crumble, for you to lose everything and the whole business to be wiped away from under your feet. Why would you want that? Why would you even position yourself somewhere where the potentiality of you losing everything is extremely high? So again, information is everywhere. You have to be very careful what you consume because knowledge is power, but the wrong knowledge can also affect you in a very negative way, right? So be very, very cautious who you take your information from, and obviously where you position yourself in this business. Moving on, guys. We have Islamic teachings. I should honestly bring this one down to like a 7, maybe 7.5. It's a great niche, but doesn't the traffic isn't that crazy. But truthfully, if you are of culture and you want to create a channel that just talks about your teachings, you want to express what you know and just share that with other people, it's a great niche. Honestly, it's very, very good. But you're not going to get rich off of it. Maybe $1,000 to $3,000 a month, maybe $4,000 a month, but not much more afterwards. Then we have Bible teachings. So this one is actually more lucrative than the Islamic side. I'm seeing a lot of channels do incredibly well with this. We have this one, which is like the Bible verse channel. I've talked about this a few times. This channel literally has 13 videos, did 600,000 views this month, but they've done a total of about 3.6 million views within 13 videos, which is absolutely mental. Really good RPM, really good average view duration on these styles of channels. So I'd recommend for sure the Bible teachings or Christianity niche. It works absolutely mental. The next one is reality/trash TV. All right. This is a really interesting one as well. It is quite difficult. It is alongside the celebrity style, but I really think approaching this with, again, an evergreen fashion works really, really well. So these people are able to just talk about things that are happening, but still a little bit more evergreen, and it works well. So I don't always recommend celebrity, but some people really, really like the celebrity side. They love everything to do with influencers and famous people, and they just want to create videos about them. So yes, this works. It's solid, but it is quite difficult. I only give it a 7 out of 10. RPM is pretty standard. That's it. Now, AI movies. This is a phenomenal niche. If you have experience in the AI space, if you don't have any experience in the AI space, I don't recommend this. If you've never touched AI before, maybe don't challenge yourself this much. It works if you have some experience or if you're just a really quick learner and good with technology, then it can work. But there's two different ones I want to show you here. So the AI Bible is a really, really good one. They take a long time to post their videos. Like they post very sparingly. I can see 2 weeks ago and then they actually recently started picking up. Before it was like quite sparingly. Like they were posting only a couple a month, but they've obviously picked up their systems in place. But really, really good videos, like great sound effects, the graphic design, the storyline, everything is amazing. They put good time into this and it pays off incredibly well, but it is difficult. The next one is AI ruins everything. You could basically pick any popular TV show or movie and you could just go into this and do AI, like AI destroys Harry Potter, AI destroys Lord of the Rings, whatever it is. And this stuff works really, really well. Like, to be honest, very, very well. It's a little bit difficult. If you watch any of these videos, you'll see how it's done. They just take a snippet and then they pause that snippet, take a screenshot, and then put it into AI and ask Kling or whatever AI animator to do something crazy, like change the gun into a broom and start sweeping the floor. And all of a sudden you've ruined that scene. That's the whole idea of AI ruins everything, right? Then we have history. Now, history is, in a sense, similar to what I showed you before, like medieval times and Spartan times, whatever it is. But there's a lot of other really interesting ones. You can see here, like I said, the Inuit discovery is a really good one as well. This channel has done absolutely mental. Literally for a channel that's only 5 months old, they have videos that are at 1.8 million, 1.6 million, almost a million. Crazy viewership, continuous viewership. Not that difficult to do. So history is really good. People are really interested in this stuff. It's a 5 out of 10 just because it's a difficult niche to tap into, more or less. But if done correctly, it can work very, very well. Now, the next one is luxury. I like luxury, but I also think, again, it's a very, very competitive, hyper competitive niche. It's been around for a very long time and it's not going anywhere for sure. But there are ways to permeate this. So I wouldn't say a Lux is like the best one to emulate or Mr. Luxury. Let's see. I'll show you another one, for example. So this channel is like this, called Timeless Black Legacy, where they take all these like famous artists and rappers and stuff like that and just do kind of like documentaries, lifestyle, whatever. And they're posting quite a bit of videos, but they have like 1.2 million views this month. And the thing is, they're very long videos, like 20 to 30 minutes, which means the RPM is quite high. Since you're talking about luxury, wealth, watches, cars, it's going to be very high, between like $10 to $15 per 1,000 views. So even at 1 million views per month, they're doing literally $10,000 to $15,000 just because the videos are longer and the topic around those videos is very, very popular and obviously high paying, right? Then we have the movies recap / reviews niche, all right? We have Screen Rant, Mystery Recap. These are really, really interesting niches to go into because they're evergreen and they're timeless. right? This is a really, really interesting one. So this is movie recaps, for example, or we can even do like Watch Mojo is always a good classic channel to emulate. Obviously they dominate the space, but there's always ways to just permeate. Like there's always going to be interested around specific shows or secrets and things you didn't know, documentaries that led to XYZ. There's so many really good topics you can go into, and just capitalize just like they are. The room for this is massive. There's massive opportunities at all times. So I wouldn't say it's something you have to worry about oversaturation or anything like that. It's really not that difficult. All right. So the next one would be anime. Now, I don't actually recommend anime too much. Like it's here because there's a lot of people that are very interested in anime. It works, but there's specific conditions to that. Number one, it's very low RPM. You're gonna get probably max $1, maybe $1.50 per 1,000 views. That's one issue. The second thing is you have to create very long videos, between 40 minutes to 2 to 3 hour long videos. That's the only way to truly make this thing work. If you're not doing the 2 hour, 3 hour videos, it's likely not gonna work. So that's why I say it's 6.5. But if you do them and you create good videos, you will cash out. You can definitely get this thing to $5,000, $10,000 a month. But of course, the cost for the videos will be bigger. The production time will be bigger. It's a much longer process. It's not as simple, right? The next thing we have is guns and survival. This is a good rating niche because honestly, there's not many people doing this. There's actually not that much competition in this specific niche. And so I really think that if someone came in here just talking about handguns, machine guns, best places, cheap guns that don't jam, best pistols, 2025, etc., these work really well. Like best revolvers, best snipers, best this and that. It may seem like there's a lot of content out there, but there really isn't. And you can also do a lot of affiliate opportunities on this as well. You can have your own merch store. You could sell books. You could sell PDFs. You can sell a lot of different things in this niche. So I think it's a really good one. Also survival gear, survival knives, things when you go camping that you need, works incredibly well. 8 out of 9, pretty decent RPM as well, just given the thing, and a lot of affiliate opportunities as well. Now we have true crime and real stories. I'm not the biggest fan of this anymore because it is becoming very competitive, but I still think there's a lot of ways and opportunities to permeate this niche and to make it work. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, if you love true crime, this and that, it does work still. It 100% does work. And you have to post pretty high quality videos and quite long videos as well. You have to do at least 40 minutes up to 2 to 3 hours. So again, the barrier of entry is quite high given the standards that are working in this niche. So just be very conscious of that. And then we have gaming. Gaming is always a classic channel that'll always work. Pick a game, specific game. Don't do all gaming. Pick a specific game, whether it's Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever it is, and then make videos on it. Things you didn't know, things that are upcoming, ways to improve this, etc. So if you're obsessed with gaming, if you love gaming and you have a specific game of passion, that's a passion of yours, then you can definitely create a gaming channel. It does pay quite okay. And I'd give it a 7 out of 10 because it is competitive, but it's also very doable, right? Now, dedicated show channels. This is kind of similar to a Netflix one, like I said. But again, take a look at this. So Harry Potter theory. All right. So they took Harry Potter and just created an entire channel with all these different things. Who's the most toxic, 10 deleted scenes you didn't notice, myths that never came true, whatever it is. There's so many opportunities in a niche like this because there's so many different shows out there with massive cult-like followings. That's where you want to find. And then once you found that show or movie, then you can come in and create a channel and dedicate the entire channel to that show. Works amazing. Also, Shark Tank is a good one, right? Then we have interesting facts. I have not seen many people do this, and I don't know why. I actually had a student within like 4 videos hit 250,000 views and just scale tremendously from there. And then no one ever did it from there. Like, honestly, this is such a good niche, and no one ever comes to me and says, hey, I want to do this niche. It works so well. It works so well, right? So this is like full on clickbait. The whole thing is about clickbait. 100% clickbait. So you can watch these videos and see for yourself. It's not that hard to make. You need to find a specific editor with a skill set to do this kind of stuff, but it's not that hard. You just find the clips, you put them together, editor adds the voiceover, and then you're golden. Like, this niche is really good. Then we have male self-improvement. This is actually similar to the other one before, but just I have some more channel examples here as well. It is a very good niche, very untapped, very untapped. High value man, how to crack the female code. Again, men towards women and then women towards men, similar. They work very well. It's $4 to $10 RPM. I give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. All right. Moving on, we have conspiracy theories, similar to the alien stuff, but much more broad. Of course, not just aliens, you know. So we have Grunge, which is a really good channel. They're doing really good videos. And so this is a really interesting one because you can say like worst time periods you'd never survive and tragic details about whatever. And it's all conspiracies, right? Theories, things that either never happened or things that did happen that people never talk about. Really interesting one if you're into like kind of like history of things and just edgy topics about history. This is a fantastic niche as well. Storytelling. This is one that actually has been around for a very long time. And the reason why this works so well and why it'll always work is because of the fact that these videos are based on storytelling. And storytelling is a very intriguing way of delivering a video. Anytime there's a good story behind anything, people will number one, remember it more and be a lot more interested in watching it and consuming that content because there's a story, there's emotions, there's hooks, there's ups and downs, right? And so this is what this does. This literally delivers those exact kind of videos where there's ups and downs and emotions and all these different things. And it works well. It's all ChatGPT stories, all literally ChatGPT stories with some images behind it. Amazing niche. All right. Now it's not going to pay a lot, but it's a good one. And you do have to require to post a little bit more content than normal, probably around like at least one every other day minimum is what's required. But again, they're very easy to make and you can kind of pump them out quite quickly as well. Now, the storytelling niche, you could do the same thing, but in storytelling. Now, this is like the miracle animal rescues, that kind of stuff with like AI videos. They also work very well. All right. So these kind of channels is all done with AI. It doesn't even need much voiceover because it's really all AI based and it's completely original. Now it is competitive, it's quite difficult and it requires high volume, but again, if you can permeate it, you can literally get tens of millions of views in this niche. All right. Next one is court case compilations. Again, same stuff with, like I said here, the true crime. It's the same thing. I think this is amazing niche, but it is getting a little bit competitive. You need to post quite long videos, right? Like around 40 minutes to 3 hour videos. They have to be decently high quality with good storytelling and good visuals. So yes, it works amazing. There's some channels that I've seen do $200,000 to $400,000 a month in a single month in these types of channels. So yes, it's very lucrative, but you're competing again with some giants. So if you have some bigger budget and you have some more patience, this is a fantastic niche. Then we have travel. Okay, so travel is a very good niche as well, but it's quite difficult to get into because there's so many videos and so many people that run straight to travel because of the affiliate opportunities and just because how easy it is and how popular it is. Everyone's posting top 10 places to visit in Portugal, top 10 places to visit here, top 10 things not to do. You got to get creative with it, right? Try and find your own edge. Maybe you direct your channel specifically to elders. Maybe you direct it to teenagers. Maybe you direct it specifically to nomads, right? So you have to pick a specific target demographic and then niche down. Don't just do travel. Always find your sub niche and maybe even a super sub niche as well. The next one is airplanes. Really interesting niche. Super interesting niche. No one really talks about this, but airplanes is a really good niche. I've seen a lot of people do very well with airplanes. I don't know why, but it's just a really interesting one that people love. They love learning more about planes or even horror stories that happen as well. So you can pick specific stories that happen on different aircraft carriers and then actually create a whole story behind it. And a lot of these are also just done with AI or simple imagery or like clips from like these actual gaming simulators. Yeah, it's really interesting. And they make a lot of money. Very interesting. Now, let's go over quickly. I'm sure you guys are eager to start and pick one of these niches. I want to finish this video and get you guys going. But just quickly, I want to go over a couple niches that I recommend you do not do at all costs. Now, I'm not saying these are all horrible niches. I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm just saying for the average beginner, you should stay far away from these, given the fact that they're extremely difficult and it's almost like you're swimming with the sharks. Number one, finance videos. I don't care what anyone says. Stay the heck away from finance. Make money online. Stay away. Stay away. The next one is technology. I recommend staying away from technology. It's extremely competitive, very saturated. It's way too lucrative. And so many people are there. They're spending big budgets. There's a lot of channels out there. Not worth it. Crypto, stay away at all costs. This worked back in 2021, 2022. Don't do it now. Even if you're an amazing crypto guy, don't do it. I just don't recommend it at all. AI in general, stay away from AI. It seems like a good niche because it's emerging. Everyone's talking about it. Just stay away from AI as a beginner. Motivational videos, please stay away. Avoid it at all costs. Don't do motivation. This also includes stoicism and stuff like that. Don't do it. Quiz test videos, they don't work. They don't get monetized. They often get demonetized. It's also very difficult. Don't do rain sounds and affirmations. This stuff doesn't work anymore. Don't do health and fitness. I just saw another YouTuber talking about health and fitness channel, and he spent like a whole hour-long video creating a video teaching you how to set up a health and fitness channel. Don't do health and fitness. You will not succeed. I know people that have invested in 2 to 4 to 600 videos, 600 videos in one channel, health and fitness, and it didn't take off, it never saw the light of day. Can you imagine how depressing, how emotionally scarring it is to post that many videos, to be so devoted to a niche, to have zero results because some guy on the internet told you that it works and you saw some woohoo video of one person making it out, and now you thought that that was going to be your chance to jump in and make it work. Yes, there's these one-off channels that do well. One-off channels. 99.9% of them fail. Don't do health and fitness. Explainer stuff. Don't do this stuff either. There's a way to do it, a specific way to do it that I teach my students, but just in general, don't do it. Law of attraction also doesn't work as well. Guys, if you need any help or support with your channel, feel free to reach out to me personally on my Instagram or join me in school community. Just click here. This is my paid program. Sorry, don't go here. Go here to my free school community. Just join. We have an entire free course, massive. I call it a mini course, but it's freaking massive. I give away everything, my YouTube, my prompts, my AI tools, everything. We also go live twice a week. I literally can talk to you guys twice a week free. I don't charge a single dollar for it. Just join, ask great questions, join the community, participate, post your stuff, post your results, post your queries. I'm always here posting every single day. I literally post something every single day, whether it's an information, a video, tips and tricks, answering your questions, whatever it is. There's literally no harm being in here. Only net positive, for you. So basically, if you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Just drop a like, comment, subscribe. And the way you can actually support me is by taking the advice and making a bunch of money and just letting me know that my information served you correctly and you're able to capitalize on YouTube, capitalize on this opportunity and make a ton of money. So you can join my free school community if you want to learn more about me, consume more of my content. If you're not able to invest in mentorship, perfectly fine. I don't need a dollar from you. But if you feel like you want to hyper accelerate that timeline and work with somebody who's going to guarantee the results, which by the way, we literally guarantee the results in 6 months. If you don't make back that investment in 6 months time, I give it back to you paid in full. If you want to work with us, there's a link as well in the description just to book a call with me directly and see if it's a good fit. If you want to just sit around and consume the free content and be part of the community, I'd love to have you as well. I'll see you guys on the next video.